Well, hello, welcome to Life on Board Amy Jo, and we're still up in Scotland, although you'll notice we're back on Amy Jo. We've actually come home from Scotland, but we've still got plenty of the Scottish adventure to show you. So on this one, we actually left Glasgow and got back to Falkirk, and we had hoped to film going up the Falkirk Wheel and on towards Edinburgh, but the weather was absolutely foul.
It was snowing.
It was snowing. It was windy, and we just couldn't. Well, I've got some recording, but fear not, we did get some video on the way back from Edinburgh and down the Falkirk Wheel. So we'll show you that in a later video. But for this one, we got as far as Ratho, didn't we?
Eventually. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we stopped off at LinLithgow.
Yeah, what a town.
Gosh, do you know what? You've got to be fit to live there.
Yeah.
The steps and you start off at the roof of one house, and you go down the steps to the cellar basically, and do all that again.
And the roof of the next house.
It was incredible. It was lovely.
You'll see it in the video. It's a lovely old town, and it is an old town, and I think you'll enjoy it. We haven't up to now done many videos walking around towns because we've not had time, but we made a point of doing this because it is Scotland, and it's the one and only chance at wandering around. So if you're sitting comfortably, we'll get the video going, shall we?
We found a pub as well, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we found a decent pub too.
Dog-friendly pub, so Smudge was allowed in as well.
Yeah, oh, he loved that, I'll tell you. This overview map of the Scottish lowlands show you where we are currently. Having gone up the Falkirk Wheel in foul weather and through 2 locks, we continued our journey on the Union Canal towards Edinburgh, this time travelling as far as LinLithgow and then on to Ratho. That's it, we are now on the Union Canal, the 20-year-old stretch, but just look at some of this gorse, absolutely beautiful. Big clumps of it coming into flower on the towpath here now, absolutely lovely. You can just make out in the distance behind the trees there, just below the hills, the Kelpies, where we were the other night. There they are, just coming into view there. Little island, and that's the Kelpies. The stretch from those locks that we just came through into Edinburgh is relatively lock-free. Well, it is lock-free, not relatively. So, I've left Catherine in charge. She has the con. And we're now about to go into Falkirk Tunnel. The Falkirk Tunnel, located just behind Falkirk High Station, was created nearly 200 years ago and was originally used for transporting coal. Today it carries the Union Canal beneath Prospect Hill in Falkirk and connects Falkirk to the heart of Edinburgh. The tunnel is 630 metres long, 18 feet wide, 19 feet high, and has a 5-foot wide towpath. During the construction of the tunnel, 2 men named Burke and Hare relocated from Ireland to Scotland in a bid to be involved in the tunnel's creation. If only some people knew what they were going to be capable of. Burke and Hare went on to kill 16 people during their time in Scotland, providing their bodies for medical experiments. Ugh. Furthermore, the canal was also used by doctors to smuggle the corpses of the patients to Edinburgh University, with the bodies being hidden in containers labelled as industrial chemicals. You might begin to understand now why people describe the Falkirk Tunnel as eerie and atmospheric. Slightly different style of bridges on this canal. Seems to have a parapet in the middle and then iron railings either side. Designed obviously to give people a view of the canal, I guess.
Number 57.
Aye. for a fish intently.
Bridge 55, which I think could be that one. There was a Tesco's.
Looks like some moorings along here and a new housing estate behind. With an industrial estate on the opposite bank. What a contrast. Quite often see these posts along the canal, and they are the remains of cranes from the old working days. What you're actually seeing there is the pedestal that the crane sat on that it could pivot round on. Not quite sure what this is, so I'll do some research, but it's obviously an old castle of some sort, and they're obviously clearing the land around it. So what's lovely is a certain object making an appearance in the sky up there. The wind has eased a lot, and it's becoming quite comfortable now. It was freezing earlier. Well, this is the Avon Aqueduct. Impressive sight. The aqueduct was built to a design by Hugh Baird with advice from Thomas Telford, in tandem with the aqueducts at Slateford and Lynn's Mill, which shares its design. Telford wasn't convinced that stone arches were necessary in conjunction with the iron trough, but Baird used both on all three major aqueducts. Construction was carried out by Messrs Craving, Whittaker and Noel between 1819 and 1821. Down there is the River Avon. The views from here, beautiful. It's just over 810 feet or 250 metres long, included the tapered part of the canal at each end, and 86 feet 26 metre high above the surface of the river. These look like they might be old boatmen's cottages, but they're actually used by the Sea Cadets or Sea Scouts at the moment. And these are actually moorings. We can moor here if we wanted to. I don't think much of the moorings, but there you go. At least you can get into the bank here. But the sun's coming out and the views are looking absolutely super. Looks quite pretty here. We're going to be looking for our mooring after this bridge. And apparently there's a water point, Elson and pump out through here as well. Well, that's us for today. We just found ourselves a very nice mooring in LinLithgow. It's quite quaint here. Just down the end there by the bridge in the distance is LinLithgow Canal Centre. That's the town with its impressive church. Just look at the spire on that. Gorgeous, isn't it? I think we might be going in town to investigate somewhere to eat, I think. Well, you've seen these hills in Last of the Summer Wine. Well, I think I've just found where they filmed it. Now, we're walking down under the railway, but then we've got to walk back. Now, with me and my condition, this is going to be fun. It's all little alleyways through the centre of town. And yet another alleyway to walk through.
And another massive amount of steps.
And another massive amount of steps for me too.
Not very wheelchair friendly, this place. Do you want a mission or something?
So just in front of us here was the former LinLithgow police station from 1863 to 1935. And just next door is the former public access to court number 1. So looking down that way is the High Street. Coming back up this way is the way we're going. And it's all cobbled road. So it just goes to show how old the town is. Quite a busy town by the look of it. LinLithgow is a town in West Lothian in Scotland. It was historically West Lothian's county town. An ancient town, it lies in the central belt on a historic route between Edinburgh and Falkirk, beside LinLithgow Loch. The town is situated approximately 20 miles west of Edinburgh. The town became a centre of industry in leather making and other materials, before developing rapidly in the Victorian era with the opening of the Union Canal in 1820s and the arrival of the railway in 1842. And just through the centre there is LinLithgow Palace, which is temporarily closed. If you need a history lesson on the royals,
Is it Mary Queen of Scots was born here?
there we are, Mary Queen of Scots, 1542 to 1587. But just look at that tower. Pretty impressive, eh? So, we've actually filmed the plaques the wrong way. So, they show the succession of Mary Queen of Scots, who was born in LinLithgow Palace, to our current Queen. They get taller and all further down you come. That's us for tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good morning everybody, and welcome to Life on Board Amy Jo on the Scots Union Canal this morning.
It looks lovely, but it's absolutely freezing. It was all frosty this morning, wasn't it?
It was indeed, yeah. It was. I think it went down to about -2 last night, so there we go. So where are we off to today then, Chris?
Somewhere called
Ratho,
or
that's it,
We
yeah.
just left LinLithgow.
And a beautiful place it is too.
Yeah, the palace, and Catherine and Alan walked to the lock this morning.
Yeah, lovely lock down there.
And I did the Tesco run.
Been shopping. So today is about another 4-hour cruise. We've got the camera going on the front of the bow, so we're doing some recording as much as we can for you. So do sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, the scenery is lovely along this.
Yeah, we'll try and film some of the scenery for you. So on a nice, warm, sunny, cold, sunny day, it should be really good.
Yeah, enjoy.
So enjoy. Great. I say that now because poor old Colin's not on his boat to do it anymore. I'm so glad to hear they've survived that fire up there. I must admit, that must have been hellishly worrying for them. So, glad they made it, guys.
Piles of weeds
On the bank.
Up there.
Yeah.
Looked like a popular place. We only left a small pile.
Well, it didn't take long for Smudge to work out that his normal cruising lookout post is on this boat as well. Although he's not over keen on it, I don't think, this one, because it's not his. But he's beginning to settle down now. There we go. In his usual spot now. Got to admit, there's some beautiful scenery around here. As we were coming along, we thought we were nearing some hillsides. It turns out they're actually slag heaps, or spoil heaps I should call them. It's not slag, and they go on for ages. So whatever was mined here must have been quite extensive. They give you an idea of how big these slag heaps are. There's a couple of gentlemen walking on the towpath to give you an idea of the scale. There you go. Good morning, guys. Absolutely huge. Catherine and I have been discussing it. Judging from the coloration, we think it might have been iron ore that they were mining, because there's a lot of red in the stone up there. Well, up here in Scotland, it's a little bit behind us further south, but everything is now starting to go green. You can just start to see some leaves poking out on the trees. Actually, really pretty here. We were told by the hire company that the Union Canal was the prettiest stretch, and I'm inclined to agree with them. I've got to say, some of the bridges on the Union Canal are quite impressive. I do like the architecture of this bridge, I must admit. It's absolutely beautiful. Going to really look forward to coming back this way in the next couple of days, because what we thought was long grass is a carpet of snowdrops. All the green that you can see there is all snowdrops. It's absolutely packed, and you can just about make out the buds of them on the snowdrops right down by the waterline here. I would imagine in a couple of days this will be a sea of snowdrops. And you can certainly see that this bank faces south, because if I pan across to the other side, what a contrast. All you've got there are mosses. So obviously that's the north bank, and that's the south bank. Sorry, that's the north bank. that's the south bank because it's not getting the sun. My mistake. My internal compass isn't working that well. Well, there's certainly a whole new town going up here. The scale of development is just massive. It goes on and on and on. All of that is all new development within the recent year or so. Amazing. Coming through this section puts me in mind of Woods Eve Cutting, but a wider version of it. Certainly it's been dug through. As we're making our way towards Edinburgh, we've seen the odd glimpse of the bridges. I don't know if you can see it, but just to the right of the spoil heap hill there is a couple of white towers or posts. That's actually the new motorway bridge across the Forth. Just ahead of us now, through the under the bridge, we'll be passing under the busy M8. It's looking distinctly busy this morning, or this afternoon as it is now. Throughout the whole trip from Falkirk, the motorway and the railway have never been too far away from us. But I believe this is the first time that we've actually gone underneath both of them. And this is the main railway line. We're just coming on to the second major aqueduct on the Union Canal. And this is the Almond Aqueduct. Like the Avon Aqueduct, this too was designed by Hugh Baird with advice from Thomas Telford. It measures 420 feet or 130 metres long. It carries the Union Canal 76 feet or 23 metres above the River Almond from Edinburgh to West Lothian. Interestingly, this aqueduct has a towpath on both sides. Well, tonight's mooring is in Ratho, and this is Ratho. That's Ratho Marina over there. Looks a nice little marina. But we're on the visitors' moorings. It says overnight mooring only. It's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon and we're going to moor overnight. So stretching the rules a bit, but I am going to stay put. Well, we're now in the village or town of Ratho, and this is the old schoolhouse. Obviously somebody's home now, and it's looking very much like this is the way into the main section of the town that we're going to explore. Some lovely houses on this stretch of the road, typical of the Scottish architecture up here, with the block work and what have you. Well, it's not a very big town, Ratho, and I think we just found the shopping centre. All of 2 shops. There's a pharmacy and a village shop and post office, and that's your lot. I don't think there's much else here. So we're going to investigate the off licence, I think, as you do. Quite a little ornate step outside this house. Looks quite pretty. Well, there you go, folks. That was a bit of a different cruise for us. It was a 2-day cruise, and we are now finally moored up at Ratho, which is a rather strange name for a town. But
I thought that. I could never get my head around it.
again, another pretty town, actually. It's quite a nice place. But we nearly didn't get moored up because the moorings are very short supply at Ratho, and the one spot we could moor up, there was loads of canoeists and paddlers, So we had a little word with them, and they were quite pleased for us to moor up, because it meant they had something to hold on to if they got into trouble, so they could climb in and out the back of our boat. So
there was quite a few bangs with the paddles on the side of the boat, but hey-ho, these things happen.
But they were having a whale of a time, and we wouldn't have spoilt that for them anyway. So, well, I hope you've enjoyed the video, folks. It's been really good doing these vlogs up in Scotland. We've got 2 more, I think, to come. There's our trip into and including Edinburgh. And a little surprise.
Yes.
I'm not going to say nothing now.
No, it is now.
I think many of you, if you follow our Facebook pages,
you'll have seen it.
You'll have seen it. Let's just say I got dressed up. Okay, folks, that's it for today. So take care, please stay safe, and thanks for watching. And please don't forget, give us the thumbs up and keep those comments coming. I'd love to hear what you think of our Scottish cruises up to now. So thank you very much, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.